Hi everyone. Ooh, this is recording 157. I have been seeing 175 in my dreams lately. And 32, 7, 57 again. Interesting. So if you are seeing 157 or 175, what else was I seeing today? 817 possibly, and right now it's 831. So any combination of those numbers within this time frame or a little bit afterwards, then this is probably especially something that is also connected to you or your soul stream, family, things like that. Hey everyone. It's finally kind of sort of getting cool here in Arizona, so I might sound a little bit congested. I feel like most of the time I probably sound pretty congested, honestly, just with children in school and stuff like that. Woo, goodness, child. I remember the first year and a half that we got here, because we really didn't even start really having normal lives until like 2 years, like a year and a half. Arizona and like adjusting to the climate and stuff like that was definitely crazy. We all had allergies flare up, and most of us in the family didn't have allergies in New Orleans. And then our one child who definitely had allergies, his really, really flared up. So it took us about a year and a half probably to adjust to the climate. But anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Hey, today we're going to be talking about something interesting. I'm going to use some discretion with this. I was actually listening to something recently, and that made me say that some of these things I'm going to do some discretion, right? Because with dreams, you have the dreams or you have the premonitions or whatever, and you don't know exactly how it is connected to everything, right? Because I'm me. And so especially when I have dreams about like celebrities or people that I don't know that well, I only have to go off of what I see. And so, when you don't know what is also objectively going on in someone else's reality, you have the tendency to talk very freely about stuff, not realizing that it's actually based in reality. And I have had that happen with most of the dreams that I have about people that I don't really know. And so for this one in particular, I'm going to use some discretion with this one. Okay. And probably eventually I'm probably just going to use discretion probably with all of them. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I didn't talk about this one on the previous podcast. So this one will really be discretionary. Discretionary. Yeah. Okay. So, now I'm thinking about how much discretion. Like, do I have to, okay, let me think about it. Oh, look, a little brown crow. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. Who you looking for? Who you looking for? I'm looking at you. Okay. Anyways, this brown crow just popped up on this sign, and it is, looking at me. I'm like, look at it coming up here, walking over to the car. Girl, what you want, girl? You want some food or something? Probably want some food. Oh, yeah, it's eating some berries. Okay, let me focus. Hey. Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to use discretion with the time period, too, because that might easily give it away. Okay, so there was a time period in general where I was doing moon scripting, and I might start doing that more consistently on the channel. I have so many ideas, I have so many ideas, but I'm trying to like take them slow, kind of rein in the Virgo placements of being like a perfectionist and wanting to do everything perfectly all at one time. So at some point I am going to do moon scripting, where we will do scripts for the moon phases, and we can like script together for the collective to start writing some things into reality and writing some things out of reality. So by this point in history, I know I'm being so extra, but anyways, at this point in history, I have probably been doing moon scripts, I would say, pretty frequently. So I mean, probably like most of the new and full moons at that point in time. I've been doing them pretty consistently, probably for about 2 years now. So if you've never heard of moon scripting, it is pretty much where you set your intentions on a new moon to call things into your life. And then on a full moon, you either transmute the energies that you're not fond of, or you script things out. Now, personally, with the full moon, I think it's better to figure out how to transmute things or to change roles in relationships or something like that, just because everything in the universe exists. And so that's something I'll probably talk about when I talk about the Confucius story as to why I'm saying that. But I do believe that there are certain time periods where you do have to just script something out, even if it's scripting out for, a period in time or whatever. But I feel like scripting things out of your reality is a thing that probably, what am I trying to say? Shouldn't be taken super lightly, and you don't want to script everything that you don't like out. It's always better to, try to transmute it, or to try to turn it into something that is more beneficial to you. Now, like I said, of course, there are exceptions. Like if you're in a relationship and, your partner is abusive or something like that, of course. So anyways, so during this time period, I was fed up with something. I don't even know what it was, because this time period actually was before there was a huge thing that happened in the collective. So I'm guessing that there was also just this like energetic spiritual buildup of something that I was sort of consciously aware of, and then unconsciously also aware of something that was building up. And so I wrote down on the script specifically, I was like, we need to script all people out. This is why I'm saying to be careful about, what you script out of reality in what way. So in the script, I specifically said something along the lines of, if there are any people on the planet who are not going to be beneficial in this timeline long term, and they, are not actually going to take the opportunity to actually change and be better for the collective, better for our kids, better for our grandkids, if they're on a timeline where you can't really see in the future that they're going to do anything beneficial, then we need to get them off the planet. Okay? Then we need to get them off the planet. So, that was in a certain month in a certain year. Okay? And I, did my, ceremony, my, full moon ceremony and everything that I do, just, lighting a candle. It's like a whole thing, and I'll talk about that more when we talk about scripting videos in general, right? Did the whole thing, and after that, I felt an energy of, how would I describe it? I guess I would describe it as like an energy of something lifting off of me when I read that. When I wrote it. So it felt like I had transferred the energy into the paper, if that make sense. So I felt like oh, look, this card says Dia. Dia, yes. Not as far, not Dia Day, but Dia the goddess. So anyway, so I felt an energetic transfer into this because there's like a whole spiritual component to this and everything. So since I felt that, I didn't really focus on it afterwards. I did it that night and I was like, okay, like let's let that be what it's going to be. Child. Hold on. Actually, let me check something right quick. Because I was planning to talk about one person. Now I'm thinking about another person. And let me see if they passed away the same year. Hold on a second. Because I thought I was talking about one person. And then all of a sudden I just started talking about somebody else. Hold on. Give me 1 second, you guys. Am I tripping? Like, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure because I'm like, I don't know if that's correct. Okay. Let me readjust who I'm talking about because there's another energy that... See, I wasn't even trying to talk about that. Okay. Okay, so I'll talk about two different people because I started talking about one experience and I was actually meaning to talk about a different experience. So, okay, one person. Why in the world would you want to be called Mickey Mouse, child? Okay, well, I will call that person Mortimer. I'm not going to call that person Mickey Mouse. And I'm saying that because sometimes, like, in my head when I'm using discretion, I like to say, like, what name do you want me to use instead of your actual name? And this person said Mickey Mouse. I'm like, child, I'm not about to sink you into Mickey Mouse. So we agree on Mortimer. So I'm going to call this energy Mortimer. Okay. Mortimer Mouse, which I know is an older version of Mickey Mouse, but there's a reason I don't want to use Mickey Mouse. So we'll go with Mortimer's story first because I was really trying to talk about Bart Simpson. Now I don't know why this man wants to be called Bart Simpson, but it's fine. Like, it's fine, whatever. Okay, so we're going to talk about Mortimer first. And that's already the story I was talking about, was Mortimer's story, but I was actually trying to talk about Bart's story. Okay, let me keep going for this gets confusing, because I don't want it to get confusing. Okay, so the next thing I know, probably a few days after this full moon, Mortimer passes away. And I didn't really think too much of it in relation to the, in relation to the scripting. Like, that didn't even pass my mind, but it was a very shocking thing, and blah blah blah. It was very shocking. I'm not like skipping over the importance of their life. I'm just trying to skip over the emotion right now because I'm like, I don't want to get too deep into that because that was very sad. So Mortimer passes away. Within 2 days of Mortimer passing away, Mortimer pops up in my dream and he literally hands me my full moon script. And hold on, let me backtrack. Let me set up the scene of what I saw in the dream, okay? So in this dream, I woke up in the dream and I'm orienting myself and I am surrounded by a like transparent kind of bubble. So I know that I'm being sheltered from something. That's usually what I see, in the astrals, which doesn't happen that often. But it's also some type of form of me being sheltered, like this specific aspect is being sheltered while another aspect of me is handling something. I also want to make that distinction. So it's not just me being protected, but it's like this conscious aspect that's sitting here right now talking is being protected while another version of me is out there handling business. And like I said, I usually don't experience that level of like a split. But in this scenario, it did happen. So I'm adjusting myself. I'm in the bubble. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? And so all I see at first are like these energy waves, like, and the energy waves look kind of like, I'm thinking about that episode of like, that episode of Rugrats when the kids are like out there on the playground in the middle of like seemingly nowhere out in the desert. And they're like so hot that the desert is, you know, playing mirage. Is that how you say it? Playing mirages? It's creating mirages. I'm sorry. Like creating mirages. And, you know, when you see that heat come up from the sand, or you see that heat come up from the black tar, it has a visible but transparent energy signature that comes off it, like the heat waves. That's exactly what these energy waves look like. They look very similar to that. And so I saw a lot of them coming towards me, but the bubble was shielding it from me actually being impacted by these energy waves. So I'm like, what in the world is this? Because at first, like, I saw them, but I didn't know where they were coming from and exactly what it was. So I didn't know if it was, I mean, it is definitely sound waves, but I didn't know where it was coming from. Just like, am I in the middle of the ocean right now? Like what is going on? So anyway, so as I start adjusting my eyes, I see another version of myself, and I see Mortimer, okay? And they are they are fighting. They are screaming at each other, like screaming at each other, okay? Like, they are going in. They are going in, okay? Like, just absolutely, like, in the trenches with each other, screaming. And I'm looking, I'm like, that's very interesting, because Mortimer must have a very interesting energy, because I can definitely get like that, but it takes a certain type of person for me to get to that level. Like, and I'm saying that honestly speaking. Most of the time, I'm a very down-to-earth, chill person. It takes a very interesting spirit to really have me, like, down there really yelling and screaming with you. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, interesting. So I also noticed that I was in this black and white outfit. That's what I would say. It was a black and white checkered outfit. That's what I would say. And I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder why I'm wearing this black and white outfit right now. And so even though I can't hear them, right, because it's blocking out the sound, it's blocking out the energy from touching me, because I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person. So it's blocking out the energies and everything from getting to me, but I can make out what's going on. And so he has the soul script in his hand, and I understand that he is yelling at this aspect because he believes that I took him off the planet with this soul script. And so in the dream, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm like, what? So at first I'm shocked, because I'm like, what? Because I didn't even know that he, I'm trying to, like, set up this, okay? I'm writing a soul script, and the next thing I know, somebody gets checked off the planet. And the next thing I know, after they get checked off the planet, they're handing me my soul script, and they are like, this is why I'm off the planet. And so I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, what? Like, that was not my intention. And I'm not laughing at Mortimer's situation. That's not what I'm laughing at. I'm not laughing at Mortimer's situation. I am just laughing at a very awkward time because that's just not what I was expecting. And he was literally blaming me for him being off of the planet. And so then I start to tune into this other version of myself, and I understood where she was coming from too. And I'm like, well, this is facts. And her point was that we didn't put anybody's specific name in there. And so, you know, like, you're very hot-tempered and upset about this, but I did not put anybody specifically on there. I set a parameter. I set a condition. And unfortunately, it looks like the universe said that you were in that parameter of a person that couldn't, but there was something going on in your personal life that they felt like you weren't going to continue to be a positive impact to people or something. I was like, I didn't put anybody's name in there. And when I did the soul script, I wasn't even thinking about anybody specific. I just set a parameter. And so eventually, they came to an agreement. And so then I was introduced back into the equation. Okay. So after they duked it out, not literally fighting, but, you know, energetic wise, they came to an agreement, which I was happy to see that. And then I merged back with this aspect of myself. So now I was talking to him, and I was conscious. I was conscious the whole time, but hold on. But you know what I'm saying. I was present in the conversation, and there was not a split between me and this other version. So now at this point, I'm talking directly to him, okay? And so the topic switched. And I'm going to talk about this very tenderly too. So he took me to the scene of his passing, which was absolutely bananas. And I'm not going to talk too much about the scene of his passing, but one thing that he really wanted me to do, so we were overlooking the scene of what had happened. And I couldn't see everything in detail because some things were blurred out as far as visually, because he understood that I was very sensitive. And so he blurred out certain things that happened during his passing, okay? But he kept telling me, he was like, I need you to focus your eyes, though. He was like, I'm blurring these parts out so that you don't see it, but the parts that are not blurred, I need you to really, really focus. And as I was really, really focusing, I started to notice that in between the scene of this event, there were little green fluorescent energies. I don't know how to describe it, because I've seen this in a QHHT session before. And I still don't know exactly what it is, but it is some type of like green substance that comes off of something. I don't know. And what he was letting me know is that this green substance is connected to extraterrestrial tissue. That's what I'll say. Extraterrestrial tissue. Okay, bodily tissue. And when, I don't know if it's like when that tissue is exposed to the air or something, or exposed to something in our atmosphere, it turns it green. I don't know if it's already green and but it was also like almost, is bioluminescent, is that the word? I mean, it would look like to some people as like fluorescent green, but bioluminescence is the production and emission of light by living organism. It's a form of choluminescence. Bioluminescence occurs widely in marine vertebrate and invertebrates. Excuse me. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm looking for, but you know how we have glow in the dark sticks? That's what it looked like. It looked like that. Woo! It must be the truth, okay? I also do have allergies right now, like, and they're starting to flare up a little bit more as I'm talking about this, which is also interesting. But anyways, that's what he started showing me. And so I was like, are you telling me that aliens were involved in this situation? Like, is that what we're talking about right now? And not that I haven't heard about aliens or anything like that, extraterrestrials or anything like that. I 1,000% believe in it. I've seen them in dream time. I've not been face to face with one that I know of in the physical, but definitely dream time, astral traveling, whatever, like, definitely yes. But what I was more shocked by is why they would be there with him during this death experience. And again, all I saw was like alien tissue, so I didn't know if it was like a person, who had also passed away and they didn't know that they were an alien. I don't know if it was like an extraterrestrial that was on. But do you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how the extraterrestrial tissue even fit into the whole situation. But he specifically took me to the scene of everything so that I would know about this aspect of it. So I was like, wow, this is a lot. Now, this is before I started doing QHHT. So I saw this fluorescent green thing before I had a QHHT session that talked about it. Before I even got into regression therapy and people being, kidnapped by aliens and stuff like that. Now, I had already seen aliens and stuff like that in dreams. But I'm just making a distinction that I ended up having this dream before I even started getting into regression therapy or anything like that. And so I was just like, what do you have to do with aliens? Because I guess, like, in my head, like, I know that people are having experiences in dream time and stuff like that, but I hadn't heard of, like, I don't know, like, I haven't heard a celebrity talk about well, I guess, besides Demi Lovato, because I feel like Demi Lovato did talk about being kidnapped by aliens or something, but, it's just, like, not as common of a thing to hear about people, at least maybe not in my world. Maybe I haven't researched into it. Maybe I will research into it. But I was just like, oh, you're kind of like, you're like high profile. And that would be a risk unless he specifically had a connection to the person who was extraterrestrial. Anyways, I'm hoping that he will come back and explain that at some point. And I'm assuming that he's around because, like I said, we're about to get into Bart's story now. And I wasn't even trying to talk about Mortimer right now. But Mortimer's name has been popping up, though. So I'm like, okay. So, yeah. And I've seen Mortimer a few times in dreams after that, but for right now, like, I can't seem to recall the other dreams, but I know I've had a few other ones, but the alien aspect of it was very, very interesting. Okay, so I ended up pausing the video, and now I'm coming back to it. It's 3:17, which is very, very significant. And I'm guessing that Mortimer... which is not surprising because he was a very competitive person. Doesn't really want me to talk about Bart today, so I'm gonna I'm sorry, Bart. I'm gonna have to talk about Bart later. Okay, and if you have missed it, you're kind of skipping around. I'm using some discretion with these people's identities because they are people that actually walk the earth. They have family and stuff like that. So I'm using some discretion because it's a very sensitive topic. So anyways, yeah, I ended up saying, like, legitimately, I stopped and then I got distracted because I was just about to talk about Bart. I got distracted, and then now all of a sudden it's been like 6 hours that have passed. Well, that's more than 6 hours because it's 3:17, 3:19 now. How many ever hours? Wait, hold on, wait. Actually, let me see because I can do the math. Wait, 8:31. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's been 7 hours that have passed. And in that time frame, I kid you not, I've seen like maybe 2 license plates that had 831 on it, like specifically 831. And so I was like, okay, he wants me to also put this video out because, you know, I do certain videos and I let them sit before I put them out, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this one out today. So today is, dang, what is today? Mess with the shoes. I have to sneeze again, but it won't come out. What is today? Woo! Woo! Okay. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. It's the 5th. You see, it's something about the power of the sneeze. That helped my brain get oriented. You know, I was just on Instagram the other day, and there's this study about women after they have kids, and it says that it takes like 6 months for their brain to recover. Well, I can definitely tell you that it's fake news. It's false news, fake news, because I'm about about year, almost 2 years, kind of, sort of, from my last baby, and I've had 5, and my brain is still out in the ethers, okay? It's still trying to come back together, so excuse me. But as the channel goes on and stuff like that, and I get my life together, these will be much more, not so chatty, and I'll leave those to the lives. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, so that we can get to 1,000 subscribers, so we can go live and dialogue freely. And then, then the dreams will probably be more professional and set up and stuff. Okay. So I have to talk about Bart at another time. So I guess it wasn't Bart day right now. And then I actually have another dream that I have in mind. So maybe like the alignment wasn't necessarily for Bart right now. So like he's kind of been hovering in the air. So I'll let that alignment happen. But Mortimer definitely wants, Mortimer's definitely in the air right now. So, all right, friends. All right, bye.